Jumping right in. There's so much to unpack. And I know, speaking of packing, I know there's a lot of preparation going into weekend after next, Passover weekend. And
Absolutely.
in the broadcast tonight, we're bringing this around full circle. Because don't forget, Elder Lawyer, we started traveling outside of Babylon right before Obama was elected in. And
Right.
I don't think it's a coincidence, because when we came back full circle, Obama was on his way out. But it was not before he did what they set him up to do. And that was totally undermine our people and bring in gay marriage. To destroy the institution of marriage is one of the main reasons he was put in place, and that legislation plagues us till this day. But really, when you look at it, he's a front man, and very few people know the political machine that was behind him. And I hope to expose that today in efforts not to stop them from doing what they're going to do, because they're going to continue their evil against God's people, our people, until the judgment, until Christ returns. What I hope to do in this broadcast is to warn the people in preparation for what's about to go down with all of the legislation that have now been entrenched due to the trust in Barack Obama administrations. And that would include the last 4 years, because if anybody believed that Biden was actually running the White House, then I got a cheap river called the Schuylkill that they can have at a very reasonable price right downtown near Philadelphia, in Philadelphia. Now, hit the like button for us, please. And we have so much to unpack, making it through an Antichrist America. We're going to identify, Elder, the spirit of Edom and how he deals politically under Zionism. A lot of people hear Zionism, and don't even know the origin of this. And it all, brothers and sisters, all of this ties together. Because there's a political machine who gave us Obama. Elder Lawyer, we're going to jump right into who is Edom, exposing the synagogue of Satan. Who is politically in charge? Right? And I would be amiss, Elder Lawyer, if I didn't go into this a couple of weeks leading into the Passover. Because we talk about Christ's death. We celebrate the sacrifice and the resurrection in a few weeks. It's called the Passover, when Christ was given up as a sacrifice for the sins of our nation. I would be amiss if I didn't identify the political masterminds that were behind undermining as well as killing Christ.
Right.
Why? Because that same political machine led through Jesuits today was there the whole time when it came to all of our great ones getting slain. I don't care if we talk about Martin Luther King. I don't care if we talk about how they heard the conversations of Malcolm, knowing that tensions were high well before Malcolm's death. Knew what was going to happen to him. And did what? Stayed silent. Didn't get in front of it and say, yo, don't go there to the Baltimore, because we got it on tape what they're planning to do to you. And they allowed it to go down. When you go back to the Jesuits, right? When you go back to the Jesuits, folks, there's a connection between the modern day Jesuits, all the way from Loyola, all of them this time, to the Knights Templar. Look it up. Also, there's a connection between the Jesuits and Zionists or Zionism. There's a difference between being Jewish and or being a Zionist. A Zionist is an ideology. Now, check this out. When you go into the history concerning the Jesuits as well as later, well, the Templar, then the Jesuits, and in Zionism, it's connected, and I can show you. The whole idea of it came out of an Herodian ideology. Now, y'all looking at me saying, well, Elder, what are you talking about? Herodian ideology. The Herodians were the, I would call, political lobbyists during the time of Christ, seeking to destroy him while they operated behind the shadows. So any place where a conversation politically was going down about Judah in Jerusalem, Israel and Jerusalem, they were in the political mix, seeking to topple any rise amongst the children of Israel. And folks, they were there at Christ's death. Elder, folks, through the Spirit of the Almighty, I've connected all the dots. And I even have records of them telling on themselves. This devil right here by the name of Ignatius Loyola right here. This devil right here. Right here. He's the one came up with a commentary on Revelations, a 500-page commentary that would have people believe the Antichrist is one man instead of the government. And that they would teach this within their theology to distort the true understanding of Christ is coming. He also made up something. Him and Roberta would have people believe that there will be a third temple built in Israel before the coming of Christ, which is nowhere in scriptures. This same devil came up with that right here. The same devil. Now the Jesuits not only works in theology, see, or in academia, folks, they also operate in modern medicine, right? So when I see what's going on here, be it Obama, be it a black mayor or a black face they put before you, I don't see anything outside of the Herodian ideology. Now, for those who need a quick lesson, real quick before I go into the Bible of the lawyer, on the Herodian ideology. During the 2nd century BC, there was a conversion. And that conversion was Idumeans or Edomites during the Hasmonean dynasty who were taken down by our people, the Levites, from the book of Maccabees, Judas Maccabees and his brother, who won a war against the Idumeans and gave them what? An ultimatum. Either you put down your evil ways and convert to the religion of our father, Isaac, or you get the sword. Well, the Idumeans converted in the 2nd century. And in the 1st century, they rose as the Herodians under the Herodian dynasty that led to Herod the Great being placed in political position to kill a black child by the name of Yeshua, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus at birth. He made himself, they moved from the 2nd century all the way to the 1st century and got themselves in political position to kill those who they know was prophesied to one day rule. So let's see what they were doing during the time right before Christ's death. How were they moving politically? Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Let's now go to the book of Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Because Christ went and healed someone on the Sabbath. Let's start at Mark 3:1, Elder. Y'all doing a great,
yes, sir.
Y'all doing a great job. Please hit the like button for me if you haven't already. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. St. Mark 3:1. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, Stand forth.
So here it is. So instead of giving credit to the man who can help the people, they're looking to see what fault or blame they can place on him. Not the fact that he'll do good for the people. Now, shouldn't you want a man in position that has the power to heal his own people? What's the threat of that? Oh, because of the Sabbath? Read.
And he said unto them, Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill?
Is it something wrong with me helping my people, sir? Or are you going to use the Sabbath as a blaming point to try to overshadow the effort that I have to actually help my own people? Read.
But they held their peace. And when he had looked around about them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. And the Pharisees went forth and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him.
With the who?
With the Herodians against him.
With the Herodians against him, folks. These would be your modern day paymasters. Same family line. They converted into Judaism during the 2nd century under the Hasmonean dynasty. They put themselves in political position to play us close. If there's schools, they'll be the ones dictating what's being taught in our schools, to make sure to get in the way of what? Proper education, so our people don't have what? The wherewithal to rival them intellectually. See? If it's reproductive rights, telling people it's okay to get rid of their children, they'll be the ones behind it. They'll promote a lifestyle of same sex, which leads to what? Less children. These are the paymasters that will be behind all of it. If it's when it comes to the image of how we're seen publicly, they'll pay intentionally so that the worst of us are shown before the world. Read it. Read 6 again.
Yes, sir. And the Pharisees went forth and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him.
How what?
How they might destroy him.
How they might what?
How they might destroy him.
So they conspired politically on what to do to eventually kill the king, to assassinate and or to kill our Savior. Politics, folks. Now, I'm going to go deep into that this coming Sunday. Who's Edom? But it's connected.